Hey Fixers, and welcome to today's video where I want to launch a new 10-day series. It's part of my launch process of the book Python One-Liners. So this is in this while launching the book, I will give a series of videos where I basically give all the content of the book away in video format, so you can watch the videos instead of reading the book, or you can buy the book and read the code and the explanations as you go through the video series. Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about regular expressions, and this will also be the topic of the next 10 videos. So let's dive right into it. So if you are an office worker, a student or a software developer or manager, blogger, researcher, author, copywriter, teacher, or even self-employed freelancer, then most likely you are spending many hours in front of your computer day after day, and improving your daily productivity only by a small fraction of a percentage will mean that you gain thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in productivity outputs. And in this series about regular expressions, I will actually show you how master coders are much more effective when working with textual data. They use regular expressions, and because regular expressions, if you can use them effectively, you will not only become a better coder, much better coder. For example, one of Google's former tech leads said that understanding regular expressions is one of the top 5 programming skills you can have, but you will also be a much more effective computer user. Why? Yeah, because regular expressions arise even if you have text editors, for example, like this one here, we have like a text editor, and now you can type strgf and you can search with regular expressions. Okay, so you can use for textual processing, even if you just use it in your editor, it's useful to understand regular expressions, because now you can do some things like searching for Adam and an empty space followed by an arbitrary number of, say, new line characters, for example, yeah? But at least one. So now you can search them, you won't find them, and so on. Okay, so you can do a lot of more complicated search that can be very useful if you have some contextual information about the word you're searching for. And so let's but in this video series we will focus on regular expressions in Python, but you can use the regular expression knowledge for many other tasks as well. So a regular expression, what is it? It formally describes to search a pattern. So the expression is a pattern, describes a pattern, and that you want to search in a text. Yeah. So an example would be, so you have a text about Romeo and Juliet, and you are searching for Juliet, for example. So this is already a regular expression in its most simplest form, just searching for a word. But you can also search for arbitrary characters by using the .regex, for example, and now we dive into an example. First, before we look into the one-liner, I will just give a few examples. So let's copy some text. So this is a multi-line string. A blockchain, originally blockchain, is a growing list of records called blocks, which are linked using cryptography. And now you can do the following. You can print the result of the re.findAll function. This is one of so the re package is Python's package for regular expression processing, and now you can pass in some pattern, like the pattern consists of a character b, 3 arbitrary characters using the .regex, and you also have to pass a text. So you pass a pattern and you pass a text in which you want to find the pattern into the findAll function. And now if you run this code, you see that we found 3 occurrences of the pattern in the text. So let's see, and you can also see that it automatically filled in the dots. Yeah, so you just specify the dots, and it automatically finds the dots in the text. So for example, here we have one match block, here we have a match block, and here we have a match block. Okay, so we can do those kind of things using the .regex. The .regex matches an arbitrary character as long as it matches exactly once. And then we also have an asterisk regular expression. So I will explain the most basic regular expression regular expression operators before we dive into the one-liner code of this chapter. Okay, so here we are searching for regular expression that starts with the character y and with the character y, and then in between we have an arbitrary number of characters. Even 0 characters is possible. So how does this work? Yeah, we have here the dot regex. The dot specifies an arbitrary character, so it wants to match exactly once. But then we have an asterisk operator. And the asterisk operator applies to the regular expression just in front of it, which is the dot, the arbitrary character, regex, and it quantifies how often this regex in front of it should match. So, and the asterisk operator means it match 0 or more times. So it can match an arbitrary number of arbitrary characters 0 or more times. Okay, so it's like a lot of flexibility and what it can actually match. And now if you run the code, we see it matches Wiptography. Okay, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but here you see it matches here this part. Y, from the Y to the Y, it matches this part in the text. And then, I mean, you may wonder why it doesn't match the pattern from here to the first occurrence here. Okay, so because here we have a Y, then we have an arbitrary number of characters, and we end with another Y. And the reason is that the dot regex per default doesn't match the new line character. It matches all other characters, but it doesn't match the new line character. So it matches all characters except the new line character. And you could fix it with a flex parameter, but we will not go into this detail here. And if you want to learn about the details, I have even written a whole book. It's called The Smartest Way to Learn Python Regex. You can check it out. I give also a link in the description below. And this book contains everything you need, like even more the very advanced stuff we handle in the book. Okay, then let's introduce another regex that is called a 0 or 1 once regex. A 0 or 1 regex. And here now we search for blocks with a question mark, and this is a 0 or 1 regex. So this one applies. It's also a quantifier, so it quantifies how often the regex just in front of it should be matched in the text. And the regex just in front of it is now the character s. So it's only the character s, not the whole word. Yeah. So because here the asterisk operator applies to the regex in front of it, which was a dot regex. But here the character s applies to the regex in front of it, which is just the character k, and so character s. So we match the word block or we match the word blocks. Okay, can you see why? Because the character s is matched either 0 or 1 times. If it is matched 0 times, then block would be a match. So this one is a match. If it matches, but it tries to match as many characters as possible, so it tries to match blocks if it is possible. So here in this case it will match blocks. So we expect that the result is block, block, and blocks. Even if block also would be a match of the pattern, it tries to match. It is greedy. It tries to match all the longest possible. It tries to find the longest possible match. So let's execute this, and here you see, okay, we have 3 matches, and now the only difference to the first patterns that match the regex is that we also match the character s now. Good, now you know the most important regular expressions, and now let's dive in the code. So our input is a string, and our goal. So let's let's have our input string first. Okay, so this is our input, and our goal is to find all patterns in the text that start with the character P and with the character R, and have at least one occurrence of the character E, and possibly an arbitrary number of other characters in between. So this is our goal, and yeah, these types of text queries occur quite frequently, especially in companies that focus on text processing like speech recognition and machine translation, such as search engines, social networks, or video platforms. And yeah, so let's have the one-liner. It's quite simple already, but if you wouldn't use regular expression package, then this would be a very challenging task. Yeah, but now with regular expression, so you can even try. You can try this. So try to find all patterns that start with P, end with R, and have at least one occurrence of the character E in between. So if you would write a program that does it by itself without regular expressions, then this would take many lines of code. It will probably take 10 or 12 or even 15 lines of code. So go ahead, try it. It will boost your learning and your understanding why regular expressions are very useful to learn. And with regular expression, it's simple. Okay, so we start. So I just went ahead and writing the pattern. So we start with character P. We match an arbitrary number of arbitrary characters. Then we match character E. Then we match an arbitrary number of characters, and we match character R. And I will explain the question mark in a moment. So why we use the question mark and not the asterisk. So the asterisk by itself, the asterisk quantifier, is greedy. So it tries to match as many characters as possible. So in this case, it will match match the first character P, and then basically it will match all the way to the right until it reaches the end, because all these characters match the dot regex. Okay, and now it will backtrack basically. So it sees, okay, now it has already matched. So the regex engine internally, it now sees it has already matched all characters, so it needs to go back, because otherwise it cannot finish the pattern. It cannot finish matching the pattern, so it goes back. It matches an E. So here we have an E, which is this E in between. And so let's start with here. And then it needs to match the R as well, so it matches the R. So this one would be a perfectly valid match without, if we didn't use the question mark quantifier. And but this is not maybe what we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to find all the words, or basically the minimum matches. So we can use the non-greedy versions of the asterisk operator, which will match as few characters as possible, so that the final word is also a match. So this means that we will match like P, then we match an arbitrary number of characters until we can match E, but we can match E quickly like here. And now we match an arbitrary characters, but a minimum number of characters until we reach this word. Okay, so then the first word would be a match. So this is like a more sensible approach in many cases, that you use the non-greedy version, because a greedy quantifier applied to the dot regex will really match everything except new line characters. So oftentimes you just want to match parts of it, or the minimum number of matches. Okay, so let's refresh the share. Okay, now we have 3 matches: Peter, Piper, and picked a peck of pickled pepper. Okay, so why this? Because here we have a P, here we have an R, and then we have an E in between here. And there's no R in between. That is like, there's no shorter match in this sequence. This is the shortest possible match. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do it with regular expressions. It's very concise. It looks simple, but if you would implement this in Python code, then this would take you a lot of time to write, and a lot of space basically. Okay, so if you want to learn more about this, then check out the book Python One-Liners. If you really want to dive into regular expressions, then check out my other book, The Smartest Way to Learn Python Regular Expressions. And see you in the next tutorial. We have 9 to follow. Thanks for watching, and bye.